My name is Sławomir Paśko. I'm CEO and founder of Neti, a blockchain software development boutique from Poland. And today I would like to share with you my experience regarding building a blockchain project. Most of the rules apply to all IT projects, software projects, but the points I choose apply especially to the blockchain. My helper during today's presentation will be that trailer. With his help, I will try to show you, explain to you the facts that happen or what may happen if you won't follow some rules or if you will follow some rules. So maybe let's start. On my first screen, on my first slide, I would like to convince you to make arrangement, to make a bound, to make your team involved in your project. When I'm talking about team, I don't mean only developers. I mean lawyers, I mean graphic designers, I mean product owners. Everyone who's in your team should understand what you do. So why it's so important? During my professional career, I was many times in situation when customer visited us and closer, right? Okay. During my professional career, I was many times in situation when customer said to us, "Hey, Sławek, you know, I have already backlog fulfilled. I have almost every work done, just need the team who will implement those tasks, who will drag them from column to do and put it into done." In another scenario, someone came and said, "You know, I would like to have a team which I will manage them directly. I will say what to do, when to do, how to do. I will manage them." Or sometimes someone came and said, "You know, I have already something written. We can use it as some kind of boilerplate, or we can use it as base. It's maybe not much, but it's great, really great. So let's use it." In all those situations, yes, you can build a team, you can build a product and that. But the question is if it's the best way to start your project. In all those examples, your team won't be really involved. So in some of them, you won't be even able to go to the vacation because you will be the only guy who knows what should be done, when it should be done, how it should be done. And finally, well, no one from us is a genius. Everyone can make mistakes. So if you, as a business owner, won't forget something, won't see something, and you expect that your team will only follow your orders, there is no chance that someone will tell you, "Hey, maybe we can do this better." So what I suggest, I really suggest to share your goals, share your vision with your team. First of all, the team will perform their task way more consciously. Definitely, no doubts. Secondly, you won't be the only person who knows what should be done and how should be done. Your team will be able to help you to design the product. Your team will be able to help you to make your product better. And finally, your team will get completely new level of motivation for work. Because in case of software development, we are talking about engineers. And software engineers really would like to solve the problems, not only write code. I said that trailer will help me to pass my ideas. What's on the picture then? On the picture is a team of people who share the same goal, share the same vision, and they push that cart in the same direction. And this is what's every project, not only IT, but every project literally is about. Okay, if we have already a team which is involved, you probably need to have a process. What's that mean for me? When you starting a software project, it probably won't be short term. It won't be 2 weeks of work because not many things can be done in 2 weeks, especially in IT. So we are talking about 6 months or probably more. Yes, I know I was intended to talking about bootstrapping, starting, and now I'm jumping into months. But the truth is that if you won't build on solid fundamentals, you won't be able to go far. So, what I mean when I'm talking about process? You should establish some rules. Those rules are divided in two areas. First one are communication rules. This is daily stand-ups, this is, I don't know, retrospection meeting, this is planning meeting, things that will, you have to put it clear to your team what you expect, so way how you want to work. Second part are rules related to coding standards, are rules related to code quality, definition of done, how we describe tasks. If you will establish some rules, you just need to do two more things. First one is easy. You need to make sure that everyone in your team understands those rules and follows them. The last one is a bit more difficult. If you want to make it effective in long term, you have to follow your own rules. This is really challenging part. But if you do this, trust me, your team will always expect the rules you will forcing. Okay, one more thing. The trailer here. Those rules will act for you as a railroad. If you have a railroad, it will be way more harder to go in different direction than you expect. If you stick to some rules, well, there is no way to make your project go in the wrong direction. My third slide. Yeah, the trailer doesn't look good. Why? For me, analytics and testing are very, very special and crucial part of blockchain projects. Let's think together for a moment. Can you imagine a situation when you gather a group of people and ask them to build a trailer for you? You get one people and ask for building access, second one for building wheels, another one for building a body, and fourth one for combining all those pieces together. There is small chance that it will work together. That's true. Very small, but it exists. The question is if it will be usable for you. If you won't ask the questions like what should be transported with the cart, how many axes it should have, the size of the wheels, what will be the weight, what will be the shape, what will be the size, how often it will be used. If you won't know answer for such questions, it will be really tough to build something usable for you. This is exactly the part on which answer analytics. And in blockchain, it's again especially important because if you build something, reverting this is impossible. Because if you deploy something to the blockchain, it already stays there. So you have to be very conscious when you're considering what you want to build. And analytics exactly answers for this question. Testing is a second part of the same process. If analytics answers the question before starting development, the testing responds to the question, has we met our expectations? Is it usable? Because even if we build without a project, a train, or with project, until we won't be sure it works exactly as we want, we shouldn't put it into production. Because the consequences, the cost, will be way higher to removing it from production, paying someone for providing wrong services, and burning the relations in practice is way more expensive. How it affects the blockchain then? Well, I will give you a very simple example. Let's assume that we build a smart contract and that contract somehow transfers tokens, which has value. And one of the paths won't be predicted on the early stage, won't be covered enough. What could happen? Your money, your tokens can stack in that contract. So if they stack, they will stack there forever. It could be $10, it can be $1,000, it could be $100,000. And no one in the world will be able to move them back to you. So the consequences are really huge and important in case of blockchain projects. You know, in Neti we have 40 engineers with different background. Some came from Java, some from Python, some from Node.js. Not all of them are blockchain developers. Not everyone should and can work with blockchain. It's not about difficulty of Solidity or Rust or any other programming language. It's about understanding the blockchain. It's about understanding what's matter, what are consequences of your actions. It's about understanding how blockchain works, what you need to pay attention for, and what are the metrics. When you develop in Java or any other programming language which are not blockchain related, you need to pay attention for performance, for memory usage, for CPU usage. In blockchain you don't care, but you have different metrics. You need to be sure that your contract will compile, because it cannot be too big. You need to be sure that your contract will be effective in context of gas usage. And finally, what I mentioned, ninja level is a security, knowing security, vulnerabilities of particular networks, vulnerabilities of particular chains, vulnerabilities of particular languages. Languages change, new versions appear every month. Yeah, the changes are not dramatical, but they exist. So you need to be aware of what you're doing. You need to be aware and you need to be sure that the consequences of putting someone with even biggest experience outside of the blockchain do not apply to what happened in the blockchain. So my advice, if you want to build a blockchain project, you should have someone, independently how. It could be consulting agency, it could be someone in-house, but definitely you should be aware what can happen, and you should have someone who understands that too. So my advice, have someone who will help you with that. I was mentioned that already on slide 1, but I would like to talk a little bit more about this, because I believe that communication is crucial for every project. Personally, I love personal contact. When COVID came to us and we shifted to remote work, it was tough to me to understand and to catch up everything, but it was also a lesson to me. I learned to use tools effectively. As probably everyone in this place, we switched to different approaches. And even if I was acting as Scrum Master or Project Manager in the past, I really didn't get correctly how to use the artifacts of those methodologies. I would like to convince you to using something that works for you. It doesn't mean any particular technology, any particular methodology. Choose something that works for you. For me, it's Agile. I prefer Agile way. In Agile, we have few artifacts which it's worth to mention. It's first of all daily stand-up, very short, 5 to 10 meetings every day, when each member of your team will tell you, not you, to everyone of the team, what he was doing, what she was doing yesterday, what's the plan for today, what challenges such person had. And also, in opposite direction, she would get familiar in 10 minutes what other members of the team were struggling, what challenges they had. Maybe they can help each other. So this 5 minutes of the day will make you up to date. Another very important meeting I would like to convince you is a planning meeting. It usually happens once at 2 weeks or twice a month, something like that. What's a planning meeting? Planning meeting is a session where you put into details every functionality that has to be implemented, should be implemented in the upcoming sprints. Sprints 2 weeks usually. Finally, retrospection meeting. Retrospection meeting is again meeting which happens after sprint, after finishing sprint, which answers for very simple but very important question. What we could do better? What was wrong in the previous sprint? What we can try to make it to fix it, or how we can improve as a team? Not me, not you particularly, but what we as a team can do to perform better. Finally, we should start using tools. Those meetings are great, but if you start using tools, combine tools like project management tools with this work, you will be on a completely different side. Because even if someone won't be able to participate in particular meeting, well, we have a tool where every time he can check where we are, where every team member, what every team member is doing, what's focusing on, how long implement particular task. You can see, for instance, burn down chart, so you can verify how far we are, how advanced we are in context of implementing whole functionalities planned for this week, how we perform as a team. Those questions will be easy to answer. Just one look at the chart, if we are equal, like in the previous sprint, or not. My last point, if you, yeah, it's like a kind of Shrek movie where a donkey was saying, pick me, I know where Farquaad lives. But picking a reliable technology partner is really crucial. Working with blockchain projects, from my perspective, it's huge responsibility. Some projects are not so important, do not require such responsibility, but most of the projects deal somehow with tokens, deal somehow with tokenization, deal somehow with real money. One of the projects we have lately implemented was integration with Uniswap version 3. How many money goes through the Uniswap? Well, it's the biggest it's the biggest exchange in the market at the moment. So small mistakes can lead to huge consequences. Not every project in the blockchain has such responsibility, but most of them have some. So what we are offering looking way more wild. I mean, we don't look straightforward just to take a task and implement it, but always try to figure out what will be the consequences. You don't have to pick us, of course. Choose the technology partner you like. You have bound with them. We well communicate. But be sure, if you're choosing technology partner, that you pick the right one. That you picked someone who won't take responsibility and won't fail you, even if you are running out of money or out of time. For the very last slide, some sentence that I repeat to our juniors developers every time when I'm mentoring them. Before you start before you start implementing any task, ask yourself a simple question. Whom and what problem are you solving? If you will follow this approach, if you will force this approach in your development team, you will be on way safer side. Thank you for having me. Hope you enjoyed my speech. If you would like to speak to me, my stand is near the next stage. If you have any question, we'll be happy to answer them.
So, ladies and gentlemen, from Neti, any questions before we finish? Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Great methodological approach. Now we're going to take one chair away, and then we're going to start the next presentation.